This is the introduction. I'm Councillor Rattigan. I'm leader of the council and chair of cabinet. I'd like to welcome everybody to the meeting, which is being held virtually in accordance with the council's rules for virtual meetings, which reflects the recently published government guidelines. The meeting is being streamed live on YouTube, will also be available to view after the meeting has finished. Councillors are reminded that although this meeting is being held remotely, they are regarded as being present in the meeting for the council, and they should observe the normal rules of behaviour under the member code of conduct and not allow members of their household to distract them during the course of the meeting. Can members ensure that their mobile phones are now switched off or on silent? Members of the cabinet will turn on their video link during the meeting and keep their microphones muted unless they have been invited to speak by myself as the chair. Members are reminded that if they switch off their video link or move away from the camera, they will be treated as leaving the meeting and will not be able to take part in any vote taken on that item under discussion. Members can indicate their wish to speak by raising their hand and should only speak when I, as the chair, invite them to do so. The officers present will only switch their video link on where they have a wish to be invited to speak to me as the chair. As chair, I will confirm the name of any visiting speaker at the appropriate time in the agenda who will address the committee by audio link. Councillors should declare that they are leaving the meeting and switch off their video link if they have a disclosable pecuniary interest and other personal interest on an item on the agenda. Councillors can switch on their video link when I call the next agenda item. Voting will be taken by roll call. I will confirm the recommendations proposed by the committee before voting begins. Can each member indicate whether they are for or against the recommendation or whether they wish to abstain? Hopefully we will not have any IT problems, but can I remind councillors that if their connection is lost, they should immediately advise Democratic Services officers and use their meeting link to access again. And can I finally say, as my own addition to that, if you hear a fire alarm sound, it's in your own house and not in the council buildings. Anyway, brilliant. That is the start of the meeting, and welcome everybody. I have not been notified of any apologies for absence. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest? No. Thank you very much. Item 3, urgent matters. I've not had any disclosed to me for the Cabinet's discussion tonight, and therefore I'll move to the minutes of the meeting held in, I hate to say, in March. You know, we're nearly 4 months after it. You will all have looked at those between 5 and 8 on your agenda papers. I think they are fine for accuracy, but I would take any cabinet member who's got any wish to say anything on that, just as an indication. I therefore take it that we are content. Now we move to the substantive issues on our agenda tonight, and I'm delighted that the housing and homelessness strategy for 2020 to 24 is presented in front of us today. Can I ask Councillor Tristan Robinson to introduce this item? And at the end of it, we will have the opportunity to refer this to the council for approval and adoption. Councillor Robinson.
Thank you very much, Leader. As the Leader mentioned, this is the Council's updated housing and homelessness strategy from 2020 to 2024. This follows on from the previous housing and homelessness strategy, which was in force from 2016 to 2020, which made strident achievements, particularly in terms of addressing housing need and reducing rough sleepers by 81% through our innovative work as a council in partnership with organisations across the Social Inclusion Partnership. The new strategy has been developed with significant input from members, stakeholders and partners. It's also been through the Economic Planning and Housing Committee, and it was subject to public consultation in November 2019 to January 2020. The 5 proposed themes for the strategy are preventing homelessness, eradicating rough sleeping over the course of the strategy, delivering housing choice and quality, tackling climate change, and place shaping. And my hope is that through these 5 key aims, it shows that there is opportunity for all at its heart. All of our residents have a right to expect the council to play a role in ensuring that they can access safe and secure accommodation, and this strategy aims to address that. I welcome the comments of the Cabinet and hope to be able to pass it to full council for endorsement in September. Thank you.
Thank you, Tristan. It's a very good piece of work, can I just say, and I'm delighted to endorse your moving it on to council. Cabinet members, have you got anything to add to this report? Councillor Simon Bound.
Thank you, Leader. I just really wanted to pick up on those points. I think it's we should acknowledge the outstanding work carried out by our officers in the Social Inclusion Partnership. And what we've achieved with their help is in stark contrast to what's been happening in lots of other authorities when it comes to homelessness and rough sleeping. And it's great to see that work has continued through the global pandemic. So as with you, I'm happy to support it.
Great. Anybody else got any views on it, or can we move the recommendation, which is to recommend this to council, the approval and adoption of the housing and homelessness strategy for 2020 to 2024. Are we agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed. Can you all switch your microphones off on and then just agree it together?
Agreed.
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 Agreed. Thank you very much. We will take that and that will move on to council at the earliest opportunity. I think that will be on. We now move to item 6, which is the Basingview 5G Living Lab, and this is going to be introduced by Councillor Rebecca Bean. Rebecca, can I ask you to add to your foreword or anything else that you would like to strengthen this piece of work?
Yep, of course. So thank you, Leader. I'm pleased to recommend this report to Cabinet to endorse the development of the Basingview 5G Living Lab. This project has been a long time in the making, and officers should be recognised for their hard work in bringing this to fruition, and indeed my predecessor, Councillor Golding. Stoke is already well recognised as a top tech town and performing well when it comes to the digital sector. We have a vibrant and growing tech community, and the delivery of a 5G Living Lab will only seek to enhance this. Being awarded up to 1.9 million of local growth funding from the M3 LEP is also testament to Basingstoke being recognised as well as regarded in the digital sector. This project will create a 5G commercialisation living lab in the Basingview Enterprise Zone, which will enable startups, SMEs and larger businesses to trial products, services and applications and bring these to market faster. Unlike other 5G test beds, the focus is not on research on 5G technology, but on business growth as well. It will put Basingstoke and the M3 LEP area firmly on the digital tech map by creating a 5G centre of excellence underpinned by groundbreaking research at the University of Surrey 5G Innovation Centre, commercialisation expertise in the Basingview Living Lab. I hope you will all join me in recommending the project for approval by full council. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bean. I'm sure that Councillor John Isaac, who has had deep involvement in Basingview, would like to say something on this subject. Councillor Isaac.
Thank you, Leader, and I absolutely would like to say something. This is a fantastic boost for Basingview at a difficult time for businesses, and it's also further evidence of the LEP's confidence in us as a partner and the good working relationship we enjoy with them. It's great news for the existing businesses on Basingview who are going to be able to access this technology of the future, the 5G broadband, and it's going to help to ensure that Basingview continues to attract new businesses to Basingstoke, bringing with them high quality jobs and investment. So it has my full support.
Thank you for that full endorsement. Cabinet members, does anyone else wish to say anything? Perhaps you, Hannah, on having led this in the past for us?
Thank you, Leader. Yes, I'm delighted to see this come forward. I know how hard officers and Councillor Bean have worked on this, and as she kindly mentioned me, I did start off that project as Cabinet member a few years ago. I think this will be a true asset to Basingview and to Basingstoke as a whole, particularly our local businesses who will be able to interact with this emerging technology in a really new and interesting way that other boroughs cannot offer.
Thank you for that. That's great. Tristan, I know you have a great interest in IT. Do you wish to add anything?
Nothing to add. Thank you, Leader.
Great. Are we content as a cabinet on that? I just want to add my endorsement of this paper and this forward that Councillor Bean has. There is going to be a serious move away from the big cities out to regional hubs like ourselves, and I think this adds to the reasons why people would want to move their business, whether it's a small innovative firm or something that's growing and expanding to take advantage of what we've got to offer, not just in Basingview, let's be honest, but over the whole of the borough. So therefore, I endorse it. Councillor Raffel, you've managed to come back in. Do you wish to add anything to the 5G Living Lab conversation, or shall I go through the recommendation for us as Cabinet?
I think you put it very well.
Great. Okay. Well, look, the recommendation, as you've probably all seen, but I'm going to read out for those who are viewing us on YouTube, is recommended that the Cabinet endorses the development of a 5G Living Lab, recommends the Council to add a new scheme to the capital programme for Basingview 5G Living Lab with a capital budget of up to 3.845 million in 2020-21 to 2021-22 to be funded by the LEP with a grant of up to 50% and the private sector funding of a minimum of 50%. Agrees to the launch of a procurement process to select industry partners subject to council approval of the new scheme. Agrees that the final implementation of the scheme is subject to the approval by the Capital Programme Board following the outcome of that procurement. I hope that is acceptable. If you'd all switch your microphones back on, and I'd ask you to agree with the recommendation in front of us. Agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you all. That was nice and swift. In these difficult times, it is important that we keep an eye on the money more than almost any other time in the past for this borough. And therefore, as with all capital programs and our income, we have somebody really capable of doing that. Hannah Golding, our Cabinet Member for Finance and Service Improvement. I wonder, could you introduce this to us as item 7 on our agenda tonight, Hannah?
Thank you, Ken. The capital programme strategy looks at how the council finances, allocates and manages capital investment into services which are vital for supporting the development of a successful and vibrant borough. This report demonstrates how we have spent our money in accordance to our strategy. The economic climate over the past year has been challenging, although I think we are all aware that this current year will be still further challenging. But we have been able to finance that commitment through the Council's track record of strong financial resilience and good management. The outturn report for the previous year, 2019-20, shows an underspend of just 4.68% for the year, which is comprised of 0.142 million of advance spend and 1.391 million in slippage and a small net overspend of 0.003 million. The total spend of the capital programme for 19-20 was 25.381 million, and this figure demonstrates the strength of commitment to this council to invest in facilities that matter to our residents. Those have included this year, but are not by any means limited to, sports and recreation improvements, adaptations that have enabled disabled people to live well at home, parking improvements and play area renovations. So in summary, as per page 86 on our agenda tonight, it is recommended that we as Cabinet request Council to note points 1.1 to 1.7. So I'll point them out to you on the page rather than read them all out. And to request Council to approve points 1.8 and 1.9, which are that the revised capital programme for 2020-2021 to 2023-24 is as shown in Appendix 3 and its financing as shown in paragraph 5.1, as well as the proposed addition and spend of 0.014 million to the revised capital programme as detailed in Appendix 5 and paragraphs 4.4 to 4.5. And I recommend this report to Cabinet.
Thank you. Has anyone got any questions for Hannah or on the papers? No, then I very much welcome it. It is notable that the other group leaders have not joined us tonight. They must be satisfied with the way we're running the finances. So that's a tick in the box. So that's good news. Cabinet, are we content as we have this in front of us, and that Cabinet requests that Council approve the additions on 1.8 and 1.9 as detailed by Councillor Golding? If you could switch your microphones back on and agree, that would be perfect.
Agreed.
Agreed. Thank you very much indeed. That was nice and swift, I'm afraid. We move now to the revenue outturn. Let's get to the right page. I'm old school, you see. That's the difficulty with having an old guy like me in charge. It is 109. Hannah, of course, it's back to you. So, would you like to talk us through the revenue outturn report of 2019-2020?
Thank you, Councillor Rattigan. The report before you this evening outlines the final net revenue outturn position for 2019-20 as at the 31st of March 2020, which overall is a surplus of £0.1 million. This surplus is due to a reduction in forecast expenditure of £0.94 million, which was also partly offset by a reduced forecast income of £0.84. This final outturn position demonstrates again the strong financial management we have within this council, and I'm particularly pleased to see the delivery of over 95% of our agreed savings targets, which does enable the council to deliver such a wide range of services at great value to our residents. It should be noted, as I mentioned in the previous paper, that COVID-19 will have a serious impact on the council's finances, and the start of this was seen in March 2020, and the details of that are included in this report. However, as we're all aware, the majority of the impact will be seen in this current financial year and therefore is not detailed. As you will see on page 110, tonight Cabinet is asked to note three things, which is that the net revenue expenditure on services in 2019-20 before the year-end transfers to reserves resulted in a favourable variance of £0.1 million lower than the working budget, the achievement of the planned savings for 2019-20, and that budget variance accounting to 0.87 million were processed during Q4. And also to agree the year-end contributions to and from reserves that have been made in line with financial policies as detailed in section 6, and the release of 0.65 million from the Manydown Reserve to fund additional costs in 2020-2021. And in addition to those formal recommendations, I would add that Cabinet might like to join me in thanking all officers for their hard work and diligence, not just in creating the two reports we've just seen, but also in the good financial management and delivery of savings targets across the past year, because it is essential to the good running of this council. Thank you.
Hear, hear for that last comment. Thank you very much. Cabinet, have you any questions on the revenue outturn report? No, there's nothing more I can say. It is for us to note and recommend that Cabinet notes all of the 5 items that are listed. I'd ask you to switch your microphones back on and agree it as a totality.
Agreed.
Thank you very much. and I add my
Brilliant.
thanks. We move now to item number 9, which is the property investment strategy. And this will be introduced by Councillor Isaac, who's Cabinet Member for Regeneration and Property. Councillor Isaac, over to you.
Thank you, Leader. This report marks the successful conclusion of the programme to invest £30 million in commercial property to obtain higher returns to pay for the services we provide residents. I'm pleased to have been able to invest prudently in resilient sectors such as industrial and home improvements and in the borough itself. We have deliberately avoided borrowing to invest, as other councils have done, but have used our own capital. Our investment has also, unlike a lot of other councils, been limited in scale. We have not borrowed hundreds of millions of pounds. Looking ahead, our priority is to make the existing property portfolio, which contributes so much to our financial income and resilience as an authority, more balanced and higher quality. Further work will focus on improving the environmental performance of our buildings. Finally, I'm pleased that as part of our efforts as a council to support business during this emergency, we've been able to postpone a quarter's rent payments for some of our tenants. So that concludes my report, and I hope that my cabinet colleagues will be able to support it.
Cabinet, any questions of Councillor Isaac? Councillor Robinson.
Thank you very much, Leader. I just wanted to welcome the report from Councillor Isaac and the property investment strategy, which has seen the council invest residents' money wisely rather than borrowing, and this secures the long-term future of the council, and this helps fund frontline services while keeping council tax the lowest of any district authority within the country. And it's down to the strong financial management that we see which enables that to happen. So thank you.
Cabinet, any else? I mean, I'd just like to add my thanks to you, John, and the property team, especially Kate Dean, who's done a marvellous job. The fact that we didn't get involved in borrowing money to invest, I think, shows how prudent we are, and is, as I've already said, a reflector that the other group leaders are not here to challenge us tonight on our financial probity. Means that they think also that we're doing a good job along with our residents. It is good to see that you're sweating the portfolio, and a yield in excess of 7% would be the envy of many people with their own investments. So I welcome this, and I hope that this is a continuing theme with our property investments. But it's good to see us using our own money to do the right things for our own borough, and I welcome that. We have not put money to other boroughs to invest. We've got plenty of opportunities here to make sure that Basingstoke gets the benefit of Basingstoke and Dean's financial probity in our investments. So look, I take that now is to be recommended as outlined on page 130. I'd ask you all to switch your microphones back on to get your agreement that it is a recommendation that we accept.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Agreed. Thank you very much, Cabinet and officers. That concludes tonight's business. I'd like to thank you for your time and attendance in today's meeting, and also for your reading of the papers, and the fact that we have sailed through this because we have not had the storm winds that many other councils have had in terms of their finances. Next year might be a different year, and I'm sure Hannah will have something to say about that, as will Sue. But we should be very grateful for where we are, because we're starting off in a calm port, although I cannot tell you that the journey will not have some storms along the way. But look, this is good for tonight, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Leader.
Thank you.